Hi, welcome to the next episode of the journey of Alexander the Great. You know, it's often said that behind many great men in history, there's an amazing woman making it all happen. Isn't that just so true for Alexander the Great? That woman was his mother, Olympias, a princess from wild Epirus, steeped in mystic religious traditions, fiercely ambitious, and utterly devoted to her son's destiny. Meet the queen whose influence on Alexander was as profound as it was controversial. As Philip II was busy building a strong Macedonian state and army, a powerful and enigmatic figure entered his life, one who would exert a profound influence on their son, Alexander, Olympias, the princess of Epirus. Born around 375 BCE, she was a woman of intense passion, deep piety, and formidable ambition. A personality as wild and untamed as her native land. Olympias, whose original name was Polixena and who later also took the name Myrtle, hailed from the Molossian royal house of Epirus, a region to the west of Macedon, known for its rugged mountains and fierce, somewhat rustic inhabitants. The Molossian kings, like the Argeads of Macedon, claimed Hellenic descent, tracing their lineage back to Achilles, the great hero of the Trojan War, through his son Neoptolemus. This heroic ancestry was a source of immense pride for Olympias and one she would undoubtedly impress upon her son. Epirus was a land where ancient, chthonic religious cults held sway. Olympias was a devout follower of the orgiastic cult of Dionysus, the god of wine, ecstasy, and wild abandon. Ancient sources, often hostile or sensationalizing, describe her participation in nocturnal rites, handling snakes, and engaging in ecstatic dances. Plutarch, for instance, mentions that she was wont to have great tame serpents about her, which would often lift up their heads out of the ivy and the mystic fans, and coil themselves about the thyrsi and garlands of the women, striking terror into the men. While some of these accounts may be exaggerated, they point to a woman deeply connected to the more primal and mystical aspects of Greek religion, far removed from the rational philosophical schools of Athens. Her marriage to Philip II in 357 BCE was, at its core, a political alliance. Philip, ever the pragmatist, sought to secure his western border and cement an alliance with the powerful Molossian kingdom. Olympias, a princess of a proud royal line, brought prestige and a vital connection to Epirus. Ancient writers suggest there was an initial passion between the fiery Epirote princess and the dynamic Macedonian king. They reportedly first met at Samothrace during their initiation into the mystery cults there. Philip was said to be captivated by her. However, the marriage between Philip II and Olympias was not destined for enduring happiness. Philip was a polygamist, a common practice for Macedonian kings who used marriages to forge alliances and secure loyalty. He had other wives before Olympias and took more after her. This was a source of constant friction and intense jealousy for Olympias, who was fiercely proud and expected to be preeminent. She saw Philip's other wives and their children as threats to her own position and, more importantly, to the future prospects of her son, Alexander, who was born a year after their marriage in 356 BC. Olympias's ambition was largely centered on Alexander. From his earliest childhood, she was his staunchest advocate, instilling in him a profound sense of his own unique destiny and, crucially, his supposed divine heritage. Legends, possibly encouraged or even originated by Olympias herself, surrounded Alexander's conception. One story claimed that Philip, on their wedding night, dreamt he sealed Olympias's womb with a lion-headed seal. Another, more potent tale, suggested that Zeus himself, in the form of a serpent or lightning, had fathered Alexander. Olympias reportedly told Alexander that his true father was the king of the gods. Whether Philip believed this is uncertain, but it served to elevate Alexander above any potential half-brothers and fueled the young princess' already considerable self-belief. The court of Pella, the Macedonian capital, was a place of intrigue, and Olympias was a skilled player. She was intelligent, strong-willed, and capable of ruthless action when she felt her or Alexander's interests were threatened. Her relationship with Philip deteriorated over the years, marked by bitter quarrels. Philip's pragmatic, often cynical approach to politics and relationships clashed with Olympias's passionate, possessive nature. He respected her intellect and strong will, but her intensity and alleged involvement in sorcery likely also made him wary. Despite the tensions with Philip, Olympias remained a powerful influence in Alexandar's early life. While Philip was often away on campaigns, she supervised Alexandar's upbringing, ensuring he received the best education. She selected his first tutors, including Leonidas, a stern kinsman of hers, who instilled discipline, and Lysimachus, who flatteringly called Alexander Achilles, and Philip Peleus. She undoubtedly filled his mind with tales of his heroic Epirot ancestors, particularly Achilles, encouraging him to emulate their valor and fame. Her influence was not solely maternal. Olympias was politically astute. She maintained her own network of contacts in Epirus and within Macedon. She understood power and how to wield it. Her fierce protection of Alexander's status as Philip's primary heir was relentless. When Philip later married a young Macedonian noblewoman Cleopatra Eurydice, and her uncle Attalus insultingly questioned Alexander's legitimacy at the wedding banquet. It was a major crisis leading to Alexander and Olympias temporarily going into exile, Olympias returning to Epirus. This incident highlighted the deep rifts within the royal family and the precariousness of Alexander's position, which Olympias fought fiercely to defend. Olympias was a complex and controversial figure. To her enemies, she was a scheming, jealous, and even murderous barbarian sorceress. To her supporters, and certainly to Alexander, she was a devoted mother, a queen of regal bearing, and a woman of profound spiritual depth. Her legacy is colored by the often biased accounts of ancient historians, but her impact on Alexander is undeniable. She imbued him with an unshakable belief in his own extraordinary destiny, a connection to the divine, and a fierce competitive spirit. Being a mother, she was, in many ways, the archetypal king's mother, shaping the character of the boy who would become the great. As a mother of teenage Alexander, her ambition for him knew no bounds, and her influence, both positive and negative, would resonate throughout his life and reign, even when he was thousands of miles away on his epic campaigns. She imbued him with an unshakable belief in his own extraordinary destiny, a connection to the divine, and a fierce competitive spirit. She was the mystic heart in a court of warriors, a force of nature who helped shape another. Can't wait to catch up with you all in the next episode, where we dive into the exciting arrival of King Philip's first baby boy and how life changed after that. Until then, take care of yourself and the world around you. Have an awesome day.